Hey, I'm Brandon Vaught again. We learned in the first video of this training series that 50% of young Catholics have left the church, and about 80% of those who left before age 23. We're hemorrhaging young people. We also saw that most young people drift away because they don't see the value or purpose of Mass, and they've never had a real encounter with Jesus and the church. But that leads to the question that I know you're wondering: how do we win them back? How can I draw my child back to the church? Well, that's what we'll learn in the next two videos. In this video, we'll focus on planting seeds of faith and trust in your child's life, and you'll discover why that's necessary if you want your child to return. Here are three specific seeds that you need to plant in your child's life. First, the seed of prayer. Most of us claim we're too busy for prayer. But here's the truth: you will never have time for prayer. You must make time. Isn't it worth 5 or 10 minutes of your day to pray for your child's return? Right now, determine the best 5 to 10 minute slot that you can commit to every day. For many parents, that's at the beginning of the day, but for others, it's right after lunch or before going to bed. But whenever it is, make it a routine and commit to it. However you choose to pray, whether you just use traditional prayers or whether you speak with God spontaneously, the important thing is, as Nike says, just do it. Just show up and open up your heart to God. He loves your child more than you can fathom and wants him to return even more than you do. So entrust your child to God and remind God that you're counting on him, that you're completely relying on his grace and providence to bring your child home. The second seed you need to plant is unconditional love. You need to commit in your own heart to loving your child unconditionally, no matter what has happened in the past. Even if he's left the church, even if he's made bad moral decisions, even if he disrespects your faith, love him anyways. If your child is like most, the first seed he needs way before he's open to anything you say about God is unconditional love. He needs to know that you want what's best for him, no matter the outcome. The third seed that you need to plant is at least one seed gift. Let me explain what that is by using a story. My friend Josh grew up in a Catholic home, but like many Catholic kids, he went off to college and left his faith behind. His mom never gave up hope though. She prayed for him and she tried talking about the church, but when none of that worked, she needed some other strategy. Her solution? Slip good Catholic resources into his life. She began planting Catholic CDs in his truck, and she left Catholic booklets on his desk. Josh was frustrated. In fact, he distinctly remembers throwing at least one CD out of his truck window. But over time, he became more open and more curious. He listened to one or two of the CDs, and one of the booklets particularly caught his eye. It was on the Eucharist. And despite years of religion class, Josh had never developed a clear understanding of what the Eucharist is or why it matters. He certainly wasn't aware that it was the real body and blood of Jesus. So Josh studied the booklet carefully, and that set him off on a journey of reading and researching, trying to figure out whether the Catholic Church could actually be right. He slowly became convinced of the real presence, and that conviction led him all the way back to the church. Now, like Josh, many other people who have returned to the church can point to a DVD or a book or a CD that triggered their return. I call these seed gifts because they are seeds of conversion that you plant in your child's life. The great part is that they do almost all of the work for you. If you feel inadequate to answer your child's questions or objections, then handing him a DVD or mailing him a book or leaving a CD on his desk can be a lot less intimidating than sitting down to explain things yourself. So be on the lookout for good Catholic seed gifts that you can give your child. In fact, be sure to download the bonus guide on this page, which lists the best seed gifts that I've found. Now, you may not notice any immediate outward effects from any of these three strategies: praying, expressing unconditional love, and sharing seed gifts. But what they'll do is plant the initial seeds of faith, trust, and love that your child needs in order to be open to the steps you'll discover in the next video. In a way, they pave the road for the journey back to the church, even before they set foot on it. Now, there are so many more tips I wish we had time to cover here. I've only scratched the surface, but we have to move on. So in the next video, I'm going to share with you 7 practical strategies that will help your child reconsider the church. Even if you think there's no way your child would ever be open to that, I'll teach you ways to move past that resistance. I'll send that video to you in a few days, but in the meantime, I want you to scroll down below this video and leave a comment. I want to know, which of these 3 seeds do you think is hardest to plant, and how can you overcome that? Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.